What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Come On and Console. My name is Jason. Today we are live for it's a live chat. You know what? Yesterday I was editing a video that I put out yesterday, and I thought to myself, I ain't gone live since January. Well, let's have a little chat. Saturday afternoon. I can't always look at this camera because it's a pain in the ass. It's up there, but we're gonna just just have a chat and see who wants to ask questions, video game questions, whatever questions. Doesn't really matter. Collecting whatever you collect, ask questions about it, stuff like that. Doesn't really matter. Mostly video games, of course, because that's all the channel's all about retro video games and just collecting in general. But yeah, let's get to the comments. So the first comment we got Sean Sheridan Movie Reviews. Hello, Sean. Welcome to the stream. Appreciate you joining me from a completely opposite end of the YouTube community, the movie community, of course. He says, "Hello, Jason. Hello, Jason, my friend. Good to see you doing another live stream. I guess the big gaming news is after waiting 80 years, we can finally play GTA 6. Look, GTA 6 could take another 10 years, and I still wouldn't give a fuck about it. I would not care, right? I'm probably the one person that is the most least excited for that game, especially if they feel like they're going to push the envelope and expect us to pay 100 quid for a game they can sod right off. I don't care how long it's been taken to make. I don't care what the budget is. You know, I feel like these game studios, Sony, Microsoft, EA, Take Two, whoever they are, 2K, whatever they are, these companies, it's their fault games are expensive to make. No one asked them to put in $400 million to make a game or whatever. So it's a case of like, I'm not going to perpetuate that. So I don't care about GTA 6. I'm not going to pay the stupid money that they would expect people to pay for it. And guess what? People will pay for it because people are idiots and they can't help themselves. They can't be patient. They can't wait for a price drop, or in my case, wait for it to turn up on Xbox Game Pass because it will eventually, right? Because GTA 5 is on Xbox Game Pass and stuff like that. So it's just a case of just like be patient, wait for a sale. Don't perpetuate this nonsense of like you've got to have it, you can't wait, you've got to have it. And it's you just got to wait, you've got to be patient. Don't perpetuate these expensive games where hell, Sony's even admitted the fact that we've got to do a remaster of The Last of Us Part 2 on PS5 because it helps us, get the money back for what it costs to make the original game. Well, Sony, just let you know, don't spend fucking stupid money on the games. If you want a good turnaround, make a good game that doesn't cost loads of money, and then people might want to buy it and might want to spread word to say, go and play this game. If you look on Steam, for example, the most played games on Steam at the moment are at least 15 years old, right? At least 10 years old at the lowest end, Overwatch, Counter-Strike, League of Legends, all that kind of stuff. Games that have been going for years and years and years. And do you know why they're the most played games? It's because they had cheap entry, either they're free to play or they've got a cheap entry, cost to entry, and they've been perpetually updating and giving players stuff to keep playing. Like it's about that. It's not about like, well, we spent 400 million. Like no, no one gives a fuck what your budget is in your games. I'm sorry, studios. No one cares because you're the one that's inflating those budgets. Right? No game needs to be that. I mean, I can jump over to the movie side of things, right? Talk about Hollywood. Hollywood, the CEO of Disney and Hollywood is trying to perpetuate that 400, $500 million for a movie is going to be the norm for a Hollywood movie. That's absurd. Especially considering over in Japan in 2023, Godzilla Minus One, which is one of my favorite films of all time. I'm a massive Godzilla fan. That only cost about 10 mil to make, and it's one of the best films ever. So these ballooning budgets are fucking ridiculous. Anyway, I'm on my soapbox as we go. Right, where was we? I was right at the beginning. Fucking hell, I'm going off on a tangent. Sean says, I know this is for gaming, but quick thoughts on Mission Impossible Final Reckoning. If you've seen it, it's my favorite one. I'm on an island. Fun fact: I've only seen the first two Mission Impossibles. They're not really for me. They don't really do it for me, unfortunately. I'm not really the biggest Tom Cruise fan either. I feel like if I were to pick two Tom Cruise films that I love, it would be Top Gun Maverick and Edge of Tomorrow, which is a great sci-fi movie. I'm not really I'm not the biggest Tom Cruise guy. I'm not, you know, I don't know. The Mission Impossible films as a concept of an action film isn't really for me for some reason. I've just never cared to watch the rest. My girlfriend Soph is here. Hello, Soph. Get back to work. Skiving. I see you skiving. Get back to work. We have one entire camel. That's a big camel. Welcome to the stream. We've got Donald Mackerel, my good friend Donald Mackerel. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Thanks for joining the stream. Okay, all right. You're off, Soph. You're on your lunch break. She'll probably, yeah, she'll be calling me to put the oven on when she finishes work because that's her routine now. Because she wants to have some food when she comes home. Soph also says, in a tangent to this, wait for a sale or wait for it to come on Game Pass, because you can pay for a month of Game Pass and get the game for about a tenner, right? And play the whole game and be done with it within that month. And then you haven't spent stupid money. She's waiting for House Flipper 2 on Game Pass. Also, Spray Paint Simulator. As I loved Power... guys, if you want a chill game where you can just sit down and just chill out, Power Wash Simulator is an amazing game. It's just so satisfyingly good. I can't express how fun that game is. But yeah, the same guys that have made Power Wash Simulator are doing Spray Paint Simulator, and that just sounds even better, right? Who wants to go around the house and just spray the walls with spray paint? Sounds awesome to me. One entire camel says, agree. I'd never pay £100 for a game. I will be packed with MTX as well. I don't know what that means. MTX. Explain MTX. I'm a bit. Oh, okay. Okay, microtransactions. I got it. It will be packed with microtransactions as well. No doubt it will be good, but not at £100. I don't even play 60. My backlog is so large. I have infinite games to play. That's the thing, right? I think we're all of us that play video games, even casually, or we collect and we have a whole massive collection, you know, on Steam or physical, whatever. We've always got games to play, right? Infinite games to play, and there's such a smorgasbord of free-to-play titles we can always just try out, right? I've heard that a game called Vigor's pretty fun, which I want to try out. A survival game that sounds quite cool. That's free-to-play. There's some really cool free-to-play stuff. So there's always something to play that won't break your bank, right? So yeah, and obviously there's older games you can pick up for like pennies now. So it's definitely agree with that. The backlog is insanity, and I've got quite a big backlog of just modern stuff like Silent Hill 2 Remake I've not played. Stuff like that. So because there's always something else that comes along that I want to play more than others. So Donald Mackerel, they can stop wasting money on woke slop that nobody wants. I agree. I think that the pendulum is swinging the other way now. I think people have had enough of that shit. Like I've had enough of games being solely to be propaganda for certain agendas or certain behavioral changes. The problem is with these people, the big wealthy, elites, as they're called, these people that want to change the world and want to change how people think and react and act and behave. Those people, they have no concept of the real world. They have no idea of the real world, of how the real world works. They've got no concept of how society works and how people, normal day-to-day people, how their days are. They have no concept of anything. And the problem is, if you try and force something to change, it will never change, right? If you brute force something, sure, people will kind of see it there, but you're not going to change everyone's minds. And like, it's not even from a intolerant or bigoted viewpoint. It's about, I don't want things shoved down my throat when I'm trying to, enjoy a piece of entertainment. I'm all about people across the board being treated the same, no matter what your, lifestyle, creed, or, sexual orientation, whatever you are. I don't care. I just want everyone to be treated the same. But on the flip side of that, I don't want it to be brute forcey fisted down my throat to make me think a certain way. I want to slowly maybe be, through good dialogue, through good conversation and debate, kind of see both sides of the coin and actually understand people's perspectives. But nobody wants a conversation these days. Everyone wants us to argue. Everyone wants to cancel everybody else. Everyone wants to fucking throw shit all across the internet. And that's the problem these days. That's society. If the goal was for the elites to break down society to the point where we're at each other's throats, they fucking succeeded, because that's all it's done, unfortunately. And unfortunately, it's coming to video games, and nobody wants that in video games. And some of the biggest flops ever recently have been those games that try and push that side of things, which is a shame because those games could have been good, right? They could have been good. Dragon Age, for example, I love those games. That could have been good. But because it preaches all this bullshit, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to play it. I don't want to be a part of it. So, yeah, it's a shame. It really is. And they won't stop because they're getting their funding from these big brokers that want to push that. That's part of their terms of service where, oh, okay, we'll fund your game, but you've got to tick these boxes for us. It's those, I don't know what you would call them, like BlackRock. They're like a funding bank or something. I forget what you call them, but you know what I mean. Wayne Tile Camel says Battlefront 2 is having a huge revival at the moment. Been playing it on Xbox recently. Currently £5 on sale. That game's. I actually quite liked the campaign for that. I'm not really into the multiplayer stuff. If I'm honest, it's probably because I suck at multiplayer, because I really do. I don't have the time to learn the mechanics or learn the meta of it and how you can get really good. I just can't be bothered. So it's a case of like, I actually really like I just like the campaign. I thought the campaign was quite fun. Short, but pretty fun. Sean says, €100 is expensive. I concede, but I can justify it because I don't buy many games. I've bought none this year. One last year. I'm a casual gamer. Studios rip us off. Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, if it's, I guess, like, not that I can, no game is worth 100 euros, right? Or £100 or whatever you want to call it, $100, whatever your currency is. It's not worth, no game is worth that, in my opinion. But if you only buy, one or two games a year, maybe that's, you can be very selective of where your money goes, I suppose. But I'm okay with waiting for certain games to reduce in price or to come onto Game Pass or, be offered up in other certain ways that makes it cheaper. Yeah, no, I mean, the soapbox is finished now, guys. Honestly, I've finished my soapbox, but I felt like that was an ideal thing to talk about because people are talking about the hype for GTA 6 and the crazy rumored pricing that we might have to pay for it. Because Nintendo fucked us over and made everyone pay. Is trying to get everyone to pay £8 for Mario Kart, which is fucking ludicrous, absolute delusion of an idea, in my opinion. We've got Last Chance Ches in the chat. Long time no see, brother. What are some of your favorite indie games? I'm really enjoying a puzzle game with a similar vibe to Little Nightmares called Dark. Is that how you pronounce it? Called Dark, like it's a sharp Q, like Dark. I'm assuming at the moment after getting it from CEX. Probably my two favorite indie games of all time is probably Journey for PlayStation. I actually adore that. It's a 2-hour experience where you're just trying to make your way to this summit in the distance. And it's very simple, very light puzzle solving, but you're constantly moving forward. And it's so good. The soundtrack's amazing. I've got the soundtrack on vinyl because it's that good. It's just a very surreal, kind of like very light-hearted experience. I kind of describe it as a slice of Zelda with no combat. It's more about the journey to that summit and like just seeing the vistas and that. It's an amazing game. And my second game that I loved it, absolutely loved it, was Firewatch. Another like really small, maybe 4-hour experience. It's all about this relationship between this Firewatch officer in one region on the radio talking to this other Firewatch officer from another region, and she's like kind of showing him the ropes because it's like his day. He's new to the job, and things start to get a bit weird and a bit creepy and crazy, and conspiracies happen, and it all roots in this dialogue, in this conversation between these two characters. Awesome game. It's mostly a walking simulator. I know people say like, oh yeah, you mostly just walk around in the game, but it's all about the areas you explore, and it's all about the conversations between the two characters on just talking via radio. But it's so good. Those are probably my two favorite indie games of all time. I love those. Sean says, I don't do online and pay money for microtransactions. That's how they get you. I'm a single player person. I hate online games. Yeah, I don't hate online games. I'd rather. I hope that fucking wind ain't blowing my mic. Close my window. I don't hate multiplayer games. I do jump in from time to time. Like I played a bit of Call of Duty Warzone a little while ago. Played Battle Royale mode. It was pretty fun until I got bored of it, and I just moved on. Yeah, so I don't hate online games, but single player games for me are the way to go. Like I've got no friends really that I can that have the same, that where our schedules will align, so we can play online together. So it's a case of just like, I'd rather just play a single player game, and love that really, and just especially A to B games that are not so massive. I love like simple kind of linear games where it's just like I can just run through it and beat it. Kind of like Doom: The Dark Ages, which is fucking awesome game. Very different to Doom Eternal, but it's awesome. Well, I mean, that's your name though. That's your name, Soph. That is your name. So get over it. Okay, yeah, I got it. Microtransactions, MTX, yeah, got it. Soph says, I need to get back to playing Lara Croft and Hogwarts Legacy. Yeah, I'm gonna have no context for Hogwarts Legacy solely because I've never seen the Harry Potter film. So blasphemy, I suppose. Entire Camel says, Vigor is quite fun. Played it with my dad for a bit. Awesome. But it looks quite fun. It's a free-to-play game. I've seen that. I'm interested to see. I'm sure it's a survival or a extraction game. It might be an extraction game. So it says, are you going to show off your new Xbox controller? Not really, because I did post a community post for that, so people know that I got it. But you can kind of see the box there. Basically, the Doomslayer controller for Xbox that came out for Doom: The Dark Ages, which is pretty awesome. Danny Duke says, how are you doing? I'm good. I'm very good, thank you. It's cool to go live again for the first time since January. It's pretty awesome. Sean says, I have like 40 games total. I'm an open world person, and I'm very specific with what games I buy. Big backlog of movies, though. Yeah, tell me about it. Big backlog of movies that I'm probably never ever going to get to watching, and games that I'm never ever going to get to playing. Too many games, too many movies, not enough time in my life. That's the problem these days. Danny says, love your videos. Well, thank you very much, man. I really appreciate it. I really do. It means a lot that people are enjoying the content and stuff. And I'm just making videos, what I want to make, and talk about games, recommend games to you guys. I just fucking love doing it. It's so fun. Sean says, any chance of bringing your membership back? I was honoured to be the first member. The reason why I stopped that is because I feel like it might have put people off the channel, because I know when certain smaller channels start, gaining a bit of momentum with the monetary side of things, certain people are put off. And I didn't want to kind of alienate my audience by saying like, look, I've got memberships, pay me money. So I kind of felt a bit of a bad taste launching that. And so I appreciate you joining it when you did, but I decided to shut that down because I didn't want to just piss people off with it. So, and to be honest, I don't think I could commit to the benefits like early videos and stuff. I struggle to put videos up on time as it is every week. So yeah, it was a good idea at the beginning, and I thought about it, and then I decided maybe it wasn't a good idea at the moment. Maybe when I get a much bigger audience, maybe it would be a bit more acceptable, I think, in the grand scheme of things. But maybe in the future, who knows where this channel will go. But for now, it's not on the table, unfortunately. Soph says, I go to games to escape the real world. Exactly. And the problem is the real world wants to infiltrate games, and that's not what we play games for, unfortunately. Retro 1981 in the chat. Welcome to the stream. Xbox 360 and PS3 era had the best stories, no agendas, just good, honest gameplay. Yeah, and I do agree. And there are some great games in this generation and PS4 generation as well that focus strictly on just making good games and making good stories. But you'll find the AAA, it's mostly AAA studios are falling into the whole like agenda political spectrum of things, and it's like, and they wonder why their games fail. And the problem with these crazy multi-million-dollar corporations is that for people that are meant to be this smart, where they've built these companies and they're like multi-millionaires and they've been able to find things that make them loads of money and make them really wealthy. They are the fucking dumbest people I've ever seen write fucking press conferences or whatever, because they don't see the writing on the wall. They don't see that we don't want the shit that they're peddling, and but yet they feel like they've got to keep repeating it until we accept it, which is bollocks. So I don't understand. Like, these people are they've built empires, but yet they're the dumbest people in existence, in my opinion. They're fucking retarded, and I'm using that word in the context of they should know better, right? Not to be being horrible to anyone that has any kind of mental illness or mental health issues, but I'm using that term. I use that term strictly for people that should know fucking better. If you don't know any better, you're fucking retarded. There we go. Everyone unsubscribes. I've got my friend Fraser in. Ramhammer, how you doing, my good sir? Hope you're well. Thanks for joining the stream, man. Appreciate that. Take your time out of your day to look at my face. Lovely. Wanting to get back on the soapbox. I can't. It'd be the whole stream. And I'll miss everyone's comments. It's a problem because I get very passionate about the state of video games, man. It's just I get so infuriated by these fucking companies. They piss me off so much. So good. No camel. I have enough home. Enough camels? We've got no camels at home. What are you talking about? Danny says, most of what ever pay for a game is £40 less, £40 or less. What you're getting is worth the extra money. That's the thing. Like, if I get a game that is really fucking good, I'm more than likely to buy the DLC or maybe drop a couple of quid on the microtransaction if I enjoy the experience. It's not like I'm not wholeheartedly against microtransactions, but when those microtransactions are there, they cut it off the main game to sell you later. That's when it gets fucking scummy. But if it's just like a random bit of a thing, like, oh, do you want a cool helmet for your character? Oh yeah, this game's been very good, and the company have been very pro-consumer about it. I'll throw them a couple of quid. But I feel like, I just feel like everywhere is getting super greedy these days, and even Nintendo. But Nintendo have been pretty greedy the whole time. So, people defend Nintendo, but they've been the scummiest company for the longest time. People forget that they had arbitrary rules during the NES era that didn't allow companies to release more than 2 games. So companies had to like work around it by creating subsidiary companies so they can release more games. Stuff like that. It's just fucking ridiculous. The whole landscape is just in a very bad place at the moment. Sean Jones said, "You getting Switch 2? I'm not. I'm probably done buying consoles for a long time. I bought both PS5 and Xbox on launch. I'm not doing that again. I'm happy with my game consoles. Switch 2 can get fucked, in my opinion. Like, absolutely. And I had a conversation with someone, I think my cousin, on the phone recently. And it's like, if you look at the price structure of the Switch 2, it completely is ridiculously expensive. Especially when you consider the Switch 1, I felt had a good price point at £280 when it came out, and had a good lineup of games. And I feel like it was a good, especially for this is strictly for its major demographic. Its major demographic of people is children, right? Kids, catering to children, catering to kids. And I feel like parents saw the Switch as an affordable games console for their kids, and it allowed them to get into video games at a young age and stuff like that. I don't see parents looking at the Switch 2 and seeing the same value there, because it's 450 quid or 480 quid, or $450, $500 with Mario Kart, something like that. And I feel like games at $80 are going to be way too much for parents to be able to afford. So it's going to get to the point where I wouldn't be surprised if the Switch 2 does worse than the Switch 1, because the Switch 1 captured that audience of parents at an affordable price. Parents buying for their kids. That's how I look at the Switch's success. Obviously, you can have the massive Nintendo fans that just clamor for it anyway, video game fans in general. But I think the core audience for Nintendo are the families, and I think the Switch 1 was perfect at a perfect price point for those families. But like I said, the parents are probably going to look at the Switch 2, not see much difference there, because it really, in my opinion, there's nothing new that it really delivers. Sure, it might have 4K, it might have a more powerful processor and be a bit nicer graphically, but in the general just hardware side of things, it's pretty much more or less the same thing, right? It's the same thing again, yeah. So I feel like parents aren't going to pay that, £480, £500 for a console for their kid, especially if it's a young kid. And I feel like the Switch One was a better proposition price wise. I could be completely wrong. I'm fine to eat my words if I'm wrong. It is Nintendo after a while, but after all, but yeah, I feel like it's rubbed a lot of people the wrong way with the pricing, and it can get fucked for all I'm concerned. And I've had a normal Switch a few times, and I just never played it. So I'm a pretty harsh, but that's just my opinion, I suppose. Retro 91 says Firewatch is my favorite indie game. Amazing, it's so good. I urge everybody to go and play Firewatch. It's absolutely excellent. An easy 4-hour experience. You don't have to do much heavy lifting. It's just really good. The story's amazing. It's so good. Sean says Hogwarts Legacy was quite fun. Obviously, I'm not going to play it because I don't really understand the context, because I've not seen the Harry Potter films. We got Birdie Love in the chat. Welcome to the stream. What's up, mate? First time seeing you live. I don't go live very often. The first time I went live was in January, and now we're in May, so it's been a while. But yeah, this is probably going to be the norm for me. Like, leave it a few months before I go live again, because I don't know. I don't know. It's just fun. It's fun every so often. I wouldn't want to do it all the time. Ramhammer says Disco Elysium is still my favorite indie game for sure. I need to check that out, to be honest. But the idea of an RPG with no combat kind of makes me a bit weird. I know it's meant to be more of a detective kind of game, is it, Fraser? Something like that. But the non-combat part is a bit weird. I find it a bit strange. It's more about investigation. But it could be good because, again, like Firewatch had no combat, and that was really fun. So I have to give it a go at some point. It might be on Game Pass. I might have to download it on Game Pass. What is your favorite video game movie? Probably Sonic 2. Sonic the Hedgehog 2 is probably the best. My favorite video game movie ever. I think they got that bang on. They got the Sonic 3 and Knuckles kind of story bang on. Really good movie, actually. I love that one. Dom Actual Gamer said, what game would you pay £100 if they remade it exactly how you wanted it? I wouldn't, though. That's the problem. I just wouldn't. I can barely justify it in the retro scene for obvious reasons, and for new games, no way. Like, it's just there's no scenario where any game I would be okay with paying that kind of money for it. Maybe if I had, I think like scenario, context and your personal situation is probably different. Maybe if I had infinite disposable income, where £100 meant nothing in the grand scheme of things, maybe that's when I'd be like, oh yeah, whatever. But as a just normie, I suppose, I can't justify that kind of money for a video game. It's just outlandish to me. It's absolutely outlandish. But yeah, zero. There's literally no game there. I'm sorry, I can't justify that money for anything. And just because they're remaking a game doesn't mean it's going to be good, right? There should be bad. There's some bad remakes. Resident Evil 3 remake. That's not a good remake. It's not a good remake at all. It lasts about 4 hours long. I've seen people beat that game in 45 minutes. So yeah, £100 is never going to be a justifiable price, man. Do I like No Man's Sky? I played it when it first came out. Thought it was boring. Never played it since. I know it's got way better, but I think too much time has gone now for me to even care about that game, if I'm honest. Sophie says, I'm so hyped for Mortal Kombat 2. The movie, yes, I can't wait. I love the 2021 reboot movie. It was so fun. Donald Gamer Maker, he's extending the membership thing. I was doing really well until I just, YouTube decided to plaster unskippable ads on my videos. Since then, the views have dropped off a cliff, and I've had to block lots of abusive commenters. That sucks, man. Yeah, I think earlier on, like 12th of May or something like that, yeah, where like YouTube was like, oh, we're gonna forcefully put ads on to increase earnability. Yeah, earnability for them, not for us guys. Yeah, that's what it was all about. It's what it's really about. They try to say it's for us, but it's not. It's for them because they're getting paid to have adverts on their platform, probably loads of fucking buckets of money as well. Birdie Loves says, where is this? That is because the people who make these decisions are not the ones that made. It is those who come after who just want money. I'm a bit lost on that comment. I'm assuming it's not the decisions aren't the ones. So the decisions aren't made by the people who make the game. It's those who are that want money. I guess so. I guess that's how I'm interpreting your comment. If you want to clarify, it's fine. Got Pika Power in the chat. Welcome to the stream. Managed to pick up Pro Skater 4's PS1 version. Finally completed my Tony Hawk PS1 collection. I didn't realize it came out on PS1. That's cool. That's really cool, actually. I've only got nostalgia for the first two Pro Skater games, so I've never really played the others, if I'm honest. But I never knew that came out on PS1. That's really odd. That must be a really late PS1 release as well. That's cool as hell. Soph asks, if you could wipe your memory and play a game for the first time, what would it be and why? Mine would be Last of Us 1 and 2. If I would wipe my memory and play a game for the first time, oh man, it might have to be. I've got two that pop in my brain: Bioshock or Mass Effect 2, because those are in my top games of all time. Maybe Doom 2016 as well. I love Doom 2016. If I could play that for the first time, that'd be amazing, because that game blew my mind when it came out. There's loads of answers for that question. There's loads of answers. Go all the way back, and the first time I played Resident Evil and shit my pants. That'd be fun to do again on PS1. Sean asks, which is larger now, movie collection or game collection? Still movie collection. It's not going to. I've got about 2,000 movies, so there's no way I'm going to be topping that with my games collection. I've got a finite amount of space for my video game collection. So once that is filled up, I'm probably going to kind of like slow down on the collecting side of things. I should really start slowing down that, because I've only got one shelf left really for video games. So yeah, definitely the movie collection is all around me, literally, like there, up there, behind me, to my side here. You can't see it. Got films everywhere, man. Birdie Love, you're lucky. PS5 cheapest was at launch. This is why this generation is fucking ridiculously stupid. It's probably one of the worst generations of video games, right? In that I've never in my life seen video games, especially games consoles, come out and then, was it 5 years after it's come out, it's gone up in price. How does that make sense? Make it make sense, right? It doesn't make sense at all. I was very fortunate to get my PS5 through my phone network. They had an awesome deal. It was a PS5 disc edition with a digital copy of God of War Ragnarok, and 2 years of PlayStation Premium. I think I paid about 480 quid, which I thought was a massive steal. And the crazy thing about it, they didn't send me vouchers for PlayStation Plus Premium. They sent me £200 in PlayStation Network vouchers. So I bought the basic edition of PlayStation Plus with part of it. Then I just saved the rest and just bought games with the rest. So I think I got a good deal with that for everything they gave me. I fucking think I spent £4 480 quid, and I got about easily like 800 quid's worth of stuff. So it was I was very fortunate to get that deal through my phone network. So yeah, this generation's been ridiculous in how there's been no other generation where 5 years down the line the consoles increase in price. It's fucking ridiculous. It is actually ridiculous. And the problem is now, who are they attracting to buy their console? Because let's face it, right? everybody that really wanted a PS5 or an Xbox has probably already got it by now, right? There might be the odd few that have been holding out on a price drop. More for them, right? Fucking hell. But yeah, majority of people that wanted either of those consoles have probably got them by now. So them raising the price isn't particularly going to attract new customers. So I don't know why they determined them. They're using the Trump tariff thing as an excuse, but I just think that's a straight up excuse. I don't think it's really the real reason why. They've just found an excuse that they can use to go, all right, this is perfect. Let's raise all the prices. Because it is a perfect excuse. Because they can just throw that up and go, oh yeah, tariffs. You know, like it's, I don't believe it in the slightest. I just think they just wanted to get more money out of people. The problem is now, like I said, the prices are not attractive now to people that haven't got those consoles. But I think in the US, Xbox Series X is $600. Who's going to pay $600 for an Xbox when they're pretty much going full third party at this point? It's crazy. It's crazy stuff, guys. Yeah, it is stupid that they're going up instead of down at this stage. Yeah, it's fucking retarded. It's fucking stupid. James P in the chat. Hello from Baltimore, USA. Whoa, that's a long way. You've come a long way to join this stream. I appreciate it, my friend. Thank you very much. So says I have to get back to work. I'll call about 5:30ish. Just drop me a message, so if it's fine. Yeah. Get back to work. Stop slacking. Ramhammer says, yeah, it's all investigation and mindfuckery. Cool. I like mindfuckery until it fucks my mind. That's the problem. I'm swear it's on Game Pass, Fraser, so I need to check it out. Bird Birdie Love says, I can justify a 2-disc JRPG game that gives you 100+ hours of open world games flat for £100, but it has to give us more for your pound. I guess so, maybe. No, I don't guess so. I don't maybe. It's still a no. I can't go, you know, I need to stick with my stance and be like, yeah, £100 is too much for anything. You know, like I keep, you know, I harken back to the beginning of the stream. If their budgets were not as high, they wouldn't have to charge us money to make their money back. Do you know what I mean? They wouldn't have to. I think I watched a video where it's like they used an example of like if said game cost this said amount, you know, if this game costs 300 million to make, they'd have to, just to break even, they'd have to sell about 13.5 million copies of that game. And I can't remember the last game that sold that much, to be honest with you. So it's almost like it's not doable. It's not sustainable in the industry. And it just shows you that, yeah, sure, they're funneling all this money into the games, but it's all in their attempts to get more out of it, which is like, you know, I go back to movies. Horror movies are a perfect example, right? You spend as little as possible and you make as much back. Look at stuff like Paranormal Activity. I think that cost about 90 grand or 190 grand to make. And it made fucking stupid money, like, I don't know, like something like 250 million or something stupid like that. So I feel like if you can capture a great idea and create a great game and not spend loads of money on it and put it out in the world and people like it, you know, it's the old adage, isn't it? If you build it, people will come. And it's a case of like, if you build a great game and it's a low budget game, you're going to make massive returns on that. So I don't understand these budgets and the idea of paying £100 for a game because their budgets are so high. We never asked them to make their budgets so stupid. Sean says, ever played Rockstar's Bully? I have, but I never beat it. I got a bit bored of it, if I'm honest. I think it's fairly fun until it's not really, but that's every game, right? Every game's fun until it's not. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not the biggest Rockstar fan, if I'm honest with you. I'd go as far as saying my favourite game from Rockstar is probably The Warriors. Very underrated Rockstar game, to be honest, as well. One of the best movie tie-in games, actually. Birdie says, I was talking about people who own the game companies that make the games. Usually they start well, but they retire, and the ones that follow ruin it because they want money, no passion. Basically laziness. Yeah, I get what you mean. Like people leave, new people join, and the whole idea, the whole vision of the company changes. It's all about like how much money. But I also feel like, as well, these companies, most of them are publicly traded, right? They've got shareholders to appease. And you know what company is not publicly traded and still is private and they're still kicking ass, which is Valve. Valve are a privately run company. They can decide to do what they want. They've got no one to answer to. And look, they pretty much more or less own the majority market share on PC, you know, and they make top, you know, they can afford to hire the best people for the job and create great games. And, you know, I know they don't really make games much anymore, but like games like Half-Life Alyx, the VR game, not played it myself, but it got amazing reviews. People were saying it's like, it's what VR was built for, kind of thing. So I feel like these companies, they go public. They've got loads of shareholders to answer for. Shareholders clearly just want they want a good return on their investment, and that's where the ball kind of starts to spiral into craziness. But you've got Valve, like I said, who are privately run. They can hire the best in the business, put out great stuff, and they put out Steam all the way back in 2004, and it's become the biggest platform on PC. And they answer to no one. They don't answer. They got no one to answer to. They can do what they want. They don't have to. Submit to like this kind of woke agenda pressure that all these companies are somehow just falling into, just submitting to, and they can just carry on. And people hate that. People hate the fact that Valve are untouchable now and don't have to, check the boxes, all these fucking shit boxes just to get their game made. People hate them. I've seen people shit all over Valve because they aren't doing what the rest of the industry is doing. That's a good thing that they're not doing that, because they can hold up this quality standard and still deliver games and deliver a service that people want. Birdie also says, if I had to wipe my memory and redo it all over again, I would play Dino Crisis 2 hands down the best Dino Crisis. Shoot me in the comments. It is the best Dino Crisis, man. My nostalgia for that second game is unbelievable. And it's the one game I don't own yet. I don't have it. I need to get that game. I've got number one. Number one's still really good, but I've got so much nostalgia for number two. I know it's a bit of a different game. It's more action and more fast-paced, but I think as a kid I wanted that at the time. Donald Mackerel Gaming says, my memory wipe game would be Final Fantasy VII, although I'd also need to wipe my mate Dan's memory, as he spoiled every bit of it, including the Sephiroth Aerith moment. Wow, that's a fucking piss take. I hate when people just be like, oh yeah, this happened. Oh, thanks, you knob. Why would you do that? Yubker's in the chat. Welcome to the stream. Thanks for joining. James says, I think my memory wipe would be Uncharted 2. I can't get into the Uncharted games. They're just not for me, honestly. I'm not really a fan at all of those games, which is weird because I love the Last of Us games and Crash Bandicoot and stuff like that. But I can't get into the Uncharted ones. It's weird. Maybe I need to just really focus and jump into each one. Because I've heard that number one is still pretty dated now, and number two is the best. So we'll see. Maybe I might enjoy it. And Ty Campbell says, I might get crucified in the chat, but with you mentioning you aren't a huge Rockstar fan, I really didn't like Red Dead 2, but love Red Dead Redemption. It was far, far too slow. Now, I totally forgot about Red Dead 2, which is weird. But Red Dead 2, I did really like until I got kind of sick of it. Like, the game is too big. It's way too big for me. It's way too big. I love the world. I loved everything about it, but I felt like it got a bit monotonous where every little thing had a massive animation. It's cool for immersion, like picking up something off the floor or drawing out your weapon. These elaborate animations that were cool to see, were really next generation animations for the time. But I mean, the game was just too big, like way too big. Like that's what she said. Yeah, I saw your comment. Yeah, it was just it got to the point where I just felt like I was just going through the motions with the game. Great game. I love the combat. I love the exploring the world. But in terms of just finishing it, I didn't see myself finishing it, to be honest, which is a shame. But yeah, I did really like Red Dead 2. Try again. Red Dead Redemption 1 is just one of the best games, right? It's absolutely fantastic, the first one. Ty Campbell says, and Valve are doing amazing. Play to their own tune, dip their toes in and out of different hardware, and don't make games unless they feel they can innovate. Exactly. They don't shy away from just seeing what sticks, right? They're always like the VR thing, they dip their toes, did Half-Life Alyx, people raved about it. Obviously the first Half-Life in absolute years as well. So it's awesome. Don Maxwell said, I'm the same with Red Dead Redemption 2. It's really hard to say for some reason. My fucking English is awful. I gave up before I even got going due to the boredom. I will arguably say as well, Red Dead Redemption 2, it has a very poor first impression. I thought the first hour of that game is really monotonous and really dull until it starts to open up and you go to the village and stuff happens. So it was it was a slog just to even get into the open world before you even start the game, so to speak, right? But yeah, great game, just way too big of an open world for me to really kind of play the whole game through, so to speak. Yeah, I saw your comment, Birdie. It's all good. Birdie also says, Valve, please let the rumors be true and that we will finally get Half-Life 3 today. Today? I don't think we're going to get it today, unfortunately. Oh, this year. Yeah, I don't think so. I think if we were going to get that game, it would have been announced by now. And yeah. But what can it really deliver on Half-Life 2, right? Because out of Half-Life 1 and 2, Half-Life 2 is my favourite out of the original games. Love Half-Life 2. It's got an amazing original Xbox port as well. It's fantastic. At least it should be revealed this coming. At least it should be revealed. It's coming this year. Hopefully, but I doubt it very much. I think that's a secret that would be hard to hide if it was coming. The conclusion that is what it needs to deliver. Duh. I guess so. But I mean mechanically and gameplay wise is what I meant. Obviously, it's got a story to wrap up and stuff. But Don Mackerel says, "I'm still waiting for." Oh fucking hell! Brilliant. I mean, I didn't think you could fucking play Sudoku. I didn't think you were that. I didn't think you was mathematically aware with that game, Donald. I'll be more excited for Left 4 Dead 3 than Half-Life 3, to be honest. I don't think we're getting that either, if I'm honest. The closest thing we got was Back 4 Blood, and that game wasn't that great, unfortunately. Buddy says, if you had to choose one remake or remaster from the PS1 and PS2 era, what would it be? Obviously, I was going to say Onimusha for a remake, but they're bringing us a brand new Onimusha game, so that's not going to happen. So, remake, PS1, PS2, PS1. I'm still clamoring for a new Metal Gear Solid 1 remake. Because sure, we got it on GameCube with the Twin Snakes, but I think they're going to remake Metal Gear Solid 3. I really hope they can remake Metal Gear Solid 1 with the same kind of graphic overhaul and the mechanics and stuff. I think that'd be sick as hell. Remaster wise, I don't really know what you could really remaster with PS1 because it's still just going to be a PS1 game with just upgrade graphics. They're slowly doing that anyway on PlayStation at the moment, putting out little kind of PS1 games with just higher frame rates and a bit more upscaled resolution. So there's not much you really can do with a remaster. Remake, as in building the game from the ground up, is more what I'm looking at. So I'd think for PS2, I'd love to see a Drakengard remake. If you've not played Drakengard, it's it's basically where the Nier series comes from. Like Nier is like a spin-off from the Drakengard, or other. It's either Drakengard is a spin-off of Nier, or Nier is a spin-off of Drakengard. It's one or the other. I can't remember which way it goes around. But they're all part of the same universe. But Drakengard is kind of like a sort of a Musou Dynasty Warriors where you fight large enemies, but then you can call down the dragon and then fly around with the dragon and kill things. It's awesome. It's so good. It's very Japanese, but it's awesome. I would love to see a remake of Drakengard. So I think it'd be sick with modern graphics and stuff and modern mechanics. I think it'd be so cool. Remake for PS1, I'd be boring and say, yeah, Metal Gear Solid 1. Dino Crisis would be an obvious choice. Yeah, I don't know. A lot of the big ones have been made, like Spyro, Crash Bandicoot. They've all been done. So yeah, I don't know. That's a good question, though. Yeah, Dawn says, "I'm so much of a genius that I transcend Sudoku." I'm sure you do, sir. I'm sure you do. Don Macro says, "Vagrant Story for, I'm guessing, a remake of the PS1." It's a great game though on its own, just as it is. It's aged great. It's so good. Onimusha 1 already has a remaster and Onimusha. Yeah, remaster, yeah, but I was talking remake. But I don't think they'll remake Onimusha 1 solely because there's a new game coming out. And I've got the Onimusha 1 remaster. I've got it on PS4. I'm definitely going to be buying the Onimusha 2 remaster as well. Onimusha, one of my favourite series, and no one talks about it. I fucking love Onimusha. Bubsy 3D Ninja Ninja Remake Classic. I've got that. I just bought that recently on PS1 because it's one of the worst games ever made, apparently, according to loads of people. So I was just like, I need to own it in my collection just for historical sake, but I will try and play it eventually at some point. Retro Tycoon, welcome to the stream. Hello, Jason. My memory wipe would definitely be all the Metal Gear Solid saga. Would be priceless to relive all of it again for the first time. Cheers from Portugal, mate. Keep up the great work. Well, thank you very much, Retro Tycoon. Appreciate it. Appreciate you joining all the way from Portugal. Appreciate that, man. Thank you. Donald says, if Sega made a new console, how many things do you think they would mess up on it? And how many months would they last before going bankrupt? That's difficult because, like, I don't know how that it would come to be, really, because they've been out of the game for 25 years, right? So that's 25 years of kind of seeing where things are going. Because they did kind of innovate. Because remember, the Dreamcast was the first console to actually have online connectivity. So they did innovate back in the day. So I don't know what they could really bring to the table, because the consoles, as they are now, are pretty much the same kind of, are the same kind of thing anyway. So it could be like, what else? So I don't know. It's a hard one, because it means like, oh yeah, all the Sega games are now third party. They're going to pull them away. It's going to be first party again. Doesn't make sense to me. I don't know where they would go, because, like I said, like the Xbox Series X and PS5 are mostly the identical kind of thing. You're getting kind of the same experience on both, really, if you boil it down to the base elements. So where consoles are so close together in terms of how they actually perform, what can Sega really bring that will kind of bring innovation? There's no point them doing it unless they bring innovation. And what is there to innovate? There's not really much. So I don't know what they could really do. How many things do you think they mess up on it? I mean, you can mess a lot of things up. You could do a Xbox One where it's just like, you've got to be online all the time, or you can't play games, or used games are dead. You can't buy used games, or for you to play Sonic on any other console, you have to buy a new console. You can't play Sonic on a Xbox unless you buy a new console. But then you have to buy Sonic on that new console because it's our new console. I don't know. There's loads of things that could go wrong with any system, right? And I feel like there's not enough here in this question that leads to a Sega console. Now, I don't think there's not really a gap in the market where they would be able to sit in. Like, Nintendo are an anomaly because they sit in that kind of family friendly, we're doing our own thing. We're not really competing with the others, in whether they really are. In reality, they are competing with the others, but they act like they're not, because they're doing their own thing. They're not keeping up with graphical progression. They're staying quite low budget and stuff like this. Or I say low budget, but they're trying to stay in their own little pocket, right? So I don't know where they will go. Sega could make 4D games, tubes that go up your nose and spray game relevant scents. Great. That sounds not fun. Excuse me. See, I'm dying. I'm choking just the idea of it, Donald. I'm actually choking to death. Anyway, yeah, maybe it'll be a pointless gimmick. It kind of reminds me. It kind of reminds me of in South Park, Mr. Garrison's It Machine, where it's basically a machine where you wank off a bunch of controls and suck on a bunch of controls like a gay person. Like literally, it's built for gay people. Like the whole joke in the show is literally built like the most gayest thing ever. It's just funny. Imagine those fan service anime games. Oh my god. That's the problem with Steam on there. That's absolutely fucking just a cesspool of that stuff on Steam. Anyway, guys, I am gonna head off now. I was only gonna do an hour anyway. It's about 3 o'clock almost. So thanks for joining the stream. It's been great to chat and stuff. I feel really bad because Angry Retro Gamer has just joined the stream and I'm about to end the stream. I'm so sorry, Angry Retro. I'm so sorry, mate, but I've got to go. My voice is dying already. Thank you everyone for joining the stream. I appreciate all the questions. It's been good to chat to everybody. It's been awesome. So yeah. Okay. One more. Okay, Birdie. One more question. If you had to recommend one Xbox original game to get, what would it be? As in Xbox original Xbox, or an Xbox exclusive? Is that what you mean? Original Xbox? One game that comes to mind that I love, that I don't own yet, is called Gun Valkyrie. It's a Sega game. It's like a Japanese action game where you're this person in like a mech suit. You've got to go on this planet and kill bugs. It's sick as hell. It's awesome. So yeah, Gun Valkyrie would be my recommendation. Look it up. It's a really cool action game from Sega on the original Xbox that I need to add to the collection. Anyway, guys, that'll be it for me. Thank you for joining the stream as always. Have a good rest of your weekend. And I'll see you again, hopefully not in 5 months later. Well, I'll see you in the video probably, but in a stream wise, I hopefully won't see you, won't leave it too long next time for a stream. Yeah, thanks a lot, guys. I'll see you soon. As always, let's continue to build a games collection. Goodbye, mateys. Goodbye. Bye-bye. See you later, mates. Bye-bye. Goodbye, mateys. Goodbye. Ah, it's not going off. Damn it. I'm useless at this.